I came away from that conversation, Alfie, and I was like, this is crazy. He's won like 29 Grand Slams already. However, he doesn't have the one he wants. I can feel it. I can feel that men's singles at Wimbledon was the holy grail for you. It was the one that you wanted. I think you used the word that you would be devastated if it didn't happen. So we hear, I know Andy Murray talks about his 2012 triumph, that he never enjoyed it, but then his 2016 his 2013 triumph he didn't enjoy, but then his 2016 he was able to enjoy, maybe a bit too much. I think he ended up in the nightclub drinking out bottles of vodka. But how was it for you? Was that feeling relief? Was it joy? Were you able to enjoy the experience? Take me back to that moment, the emotion, the I get goosebumps when I say it, when I was watching it. You know, the tears flowed, the emotion came out of you, and it was beautiful to see. How were you feeling in that moment?
Yeah, the moment itself was one of relief for sure. I actually listened to that Andy Murray interview or article that where he spoke about the feelings. Or actually, it was his post match with Jamie, wasn't it? But he talked about his feelings when he won the 2013 and the 2016 one, and definitely one I can resonate with in terms of the stress and the pressure, I guess, that was building, my own expectations, obviously. And in that moment itself, it's it's undescribable. It really is indescribable. But obviously, you saw the reaction. There was a lot of tears, and for a number of reasons, those tears were one of relief, one of joy, of course, one of to overcome a massive challenge. Obviously, a tennis one, but also a mental, psychological, and emotional one, which had been going on for many years now. You know, I played my first Wimbledon singles match in 2016, and it's taken me seven attempts, seven it's Wimbledons to finally get my hands on it, and um, I probably still haven't really processed how much it means and how deep rooted it will mean for sort of getting over the past trauma of losing those two Wimbledon finals, but the future, which I think I can now go there and play with a bit more freedom and maybe joy as well.
Well, I spoke to Alfie because I guess one of the beauties, one of the, and I've said this to a few people, it's a real privilege to be a part of a Grand Slam on finals weekend or semi-finals weekend. You know, it's this kind of, and I've now, with the role that I've been playing with Gabby Dabrowski and Erin Routliffe, the last 3 or 4 Grand Slams, I've been there, and the same with the Masters 1000s, because you get to experience the absolute pinnacle of our sport, and the behind the scenes version of it. And one of them is those little interactions you have with other players. Like I spoke to Novak Djokovic before the girls played their final at US Open, and on the Sunday there's very few matches left, and we had just a little chat in the warm up area. But I had the privilege to speak to you almost straight after your semi final win. And I'd been completely hooked to that match for the last probably 15 minutes. I'd turned it on, it was late. The drama, the tension, the it completely pulled me in. And for me, I thought incredibly high level tennis. Actually, I thought the Fernandez. I mean, one, I wouldn't want to fight with Fernandez. He looked like he could have me in between his biceps quite easily. But he kept on hitting winner after winner after winner in those kind of big moments as you were serving for the match. And you kind of spoke and you went, oh, that's a great unbelievable. And you kind of said to me, it wasn't very good. It was very tight. I was very nervous. Now, yes, I could pick up a little bit of nerves and tightness, but I don't know if you've watched that back, but I actually thought you also played some bloody good tennis. Most points were earned. I didn't see many points being given in those latter stages, but it felt like that was the moment. And because also you normally play Odu's been the one you've played in a couple of finals, and obviously he then lost his semi-final, and certainly from the score, it felt like the final was a little bit more stress-free. did it feel like that was whenever we win a tournament, it feels like there's a match, there's a moment, and it felt like maybe that all came in the semi-final right at the end, because certainly the tennis that Fernandez was playing, he certainly was playing good enough tennis to earn the right to make his way to a Wimbledon final as well.
Yeah. I played Gustavo in the semis at Roland Garros, and it was a very similar sort of match. Deep, deep into the third, but I lost it. And going again a few weeks later is a new opportunity to rewrite the narrative and rewrite the script and try and turn that around. And I think one thing I did really well in that week as a whole was taking each match as it comes. And it sounds so simple and straightforward, but it's very easy to get ahead of yourself and start thinking about two matches down the line. But that match will probably go down in history as one of the greatest battles that I've ever had on a tennis court, with everything that was riding on it. You know, the opportunity to play in a final for another final, and get another chance of getting my hands on the trophy. And with the level that he was playing, it created a really good match. Obviously, I was down 4-1 in the first set, lost it 6-4, 3-1 down in the second set, and it was a nail biter in the third. And I remember seeing you, but when I came off court afterwards, it was just the fact that I've never played a match with so much heart and fight and grit and resilience. And it took a lot of mental energy and belief to be able to do that, because he's someone that can storm through a set without you being able to get a racket on the ball, and to try and remain calm, confident in what you do, and make it as difficult for him as possible can be a struggle. And I didn't achieve that in Roland Garros, and to do it probably on the biggest stage in the biggest tournament of my life to date, I would say was probably one of my greatest achievements. And we spoke as a team afterwards, and the actual tennis itself, because I have watched it back, actually watched it back a couple of nights ago. The tennis itself wasn't as poor as what maybe I felt it was in the moment. I think all the adrenaline and tension definitely maybe affected my vision of or perception of how I view the match. But I did well, and I did well in the big moments to, make good first serves, put them under pressure. One extra ball in court, whatever it may have took to be in the rally and to be in the match, was what I did really well. And obviously 6 match points speaks for itself. The relief and the celebration was one of just pure and utter, I would say joy. Relief is the biggest one, and obviously I didn't know who I was playing in the final at that point, so I was just very, very, very happy that I got through probably one of the biggest battles that I've ever faced.